What's up, YouTube? Hopefully, you guys are having a good start to your week, and I guess I should say midpoint of the week now. NVDA just released their earnings, and it's been a pretty strong move after hours. I'm hoping it continues, as I do have some a small size call option swung overnight for the QQQ. With that said, I do want to touch on a few things today. I want to go over the stats as I usually do, just to provide kind of a progress update, while also touching on the price action from Asia over into the New York Open to talk about the trades that I took and referencing how that kind of coincided nicely with the FF indicator. If this is your first time watching this video, please drop a like and subscribe. I do post content as often as I can, both here and on Instagram. So if you're not following me there, follow me there as well. But let's get right into this. So right now, as you can see, over the course of this month, from a PNL execution perspective, as far as prop firm goes, we're at about $72,498. My win rate has dropped slightly from my last update, because last time I think it was like the low 80s. Now I'm just right beneath 80. I'm like 79% now, which is, again, part of the game, not that big of a deal, but I think our stats will kind of ebb and flow. And again, if you guys remember from the last time I spoke about this as well, win rate is very subjective. In the end of the day, you could be a 50% win rate trader and still be super successful. It really just comes down to what kind of trade style you have. I myself don't go for more than 1 to 2 R trades most of the time. I would say more than 90% of the time I'm shooting for 1 to 2 R trades. The seldom chance I get, if their opportunity presents itself, I will hold for larger moves, those are generally where I catch those 200 point plus trades, right? But overall, still very solid. And you can see I'm not a scalp trader either. Yes, I may shoot for 1 to 2 R, but occasionally when I do hold for those bigger moves, I hold them for quite a while. Some of my trades I have held up to like 6 to 8 hours actually. So it really depends on obviously the setup that I had. If you followed from last time, one of my Topstep trade I took, I posted on Instagram. I basically entered at night at like 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and I exited the position the next morning during the New York Open, which was about a 9 to 10 hour trade, right? So anyway, so there's that. Going over the calendar quickly as well. Green days all around. There are still red trades, obviously, and some of the trades that I've taken a lot of this week were like Sunday's Globex Open, as well as Tuesdays Asia as well. There's more trades here because whenever I do one-on-ones with students, I do demonstrate trades with my funded accounts. So it does play a part into that. So whether they're wins or losses, doesn't really matter. I do them nevertheless. But we are shaping up to be stronger than the prior month, because in January I finished off the month at around 78,000. Right now I'm 72,000. I still have about 3 trading days left here. So we'll see. I mean, if we beat it, we beat it. If we don't, we don't. Really not that important actually. But just wanted to kind of share that progress as well. And then obviously in terms of payouts wise, you can already see here, you can see my total payout for this year and my total payout from last year. If you've watched my year-end recap, this should not be a surprise. You should already know this. And then, yeah, so just this week alone, we've managed to request for a payout twice with Lucid Trading, $3,000 both times. And just now as well, sorry, that includes this one actually. I just requested for this one. And then I'm also primed for another Lucid payout tomorrow, assuming that I take a trade and hit my target that I need to get right. But we'll see. Again, time will tell. But that's kind of the quick update on that. I want to kind of jump straight to the charts now to talk about the overnight action as well as today's price action here. So give me 1 second here. Perfect. So over the course of Asia, I know that we had some really whack moves here, and this was probably during the time when Trump started speaking. But, I think we had a really good push. If you were to look at the 200 EMA, this bounce here was actually at that 200 EMA spot, which was beautiful. We also had this quad bottom from the prior session as well from a structures perspective, which offered a nice long position. I know a couple guys in the Discord caught this long. So whether you caught the long here or whether you caught the long off the trigger line after the fact, a lot of opportunities to take the longs on positions, as you can see here on the overnight. So whether you caught it here or caught it over here, both were very valid. Later on, we obviously had that big push down. And if you missed the initial move, not a big deal as well. The trigger line offered a nice 2-minute re-entry for a lower high. And so this would have offered you a nice little short trade as well. Let's just kind of forecast that out so you can kind of see what that would have been worth. So that right there, you could have caught about 37 points, give or take. Obviously, hindsight, you'll say 37. But even if you were to have shot for like 30 points or something like that, that would have been a very reasonable opportunity for a trade there. And then coming into the New York session, we had another opportunity here as well, right? So we tested the same lows over just before London Open. We bounced off that same kind of support area that we bounced off of during the Asia session. And from there on out, Once we pushed above the trigger line, you can see here that we continued to hold and respected this trend line all the way into our New York opening. Now, there was something very unique about this New York opening that actually warranted me to take a trade sooner than I normally do. And why that is the case is I'm going to kind of zoom out here so you can see the kind of the bigger picture. So this is the daily time frame. You can see here that we have been within this kind of like box range over the course of this week. And so essentially, the reason why this was important was because coming into the market open, we were actually breaking out of that range. So that kind of played a big role. And so now you can kind of see it closely. You can see here that we broke out of the range during pre-market, and then we retested that outer range for a support, so a resistance flip support, right? And on top of that, we also bounced nicely off of the 2-minute trigger here, as you can see. And so the moment we open, and so if you were in a futures trade, you could have definitely entered here longs after this respected bounce here, whether you took it on this candle or the opening print candle, either or. You could have taken this trade. You could have risked about a little bit over 30 points with the stop loss beneath and taken this opening print. So I know some people did catch this, which obviously congrats, because this was a very, very strong move to the upside, and all the way to the high of day at that point in time was about a 200-point move. I myself still took an early entry. I waited to see what the first candle would do. And again, I normally don't take trades off the open like this, but it did offer an opportunity. So I did take a long on options here after we got a pause bar, and I was able to capture the long move all the way up. So I got about a 70% trade on options, entering from this candle, riding it all the way to the top. Later on, you can see that the 2-minute trigger line continued to offer the opportunity to hold. And I actually had a key spot here that I was watching for, which I think a lot of people in the Discord managed to take a chance to catch that as well. I talked about that in my live stream this morning, and that offered another 100-point move to the upside leading into the open. So anyways, that's my quick update. I got to head out of the road now and pick up my kid from school, so I'll leave it at that. Catch you guys later.